It must have been an amazing feeling to all of a sudden be able to talk like being reborn in a way, I suppose.
It was a freedom, actually. I was watching Hugo Taylor come out. I'm a celebrity. Get me out of here in the jungle last night, and he said, it was life changing. That moment for me was life changing. We all people around me, it changed their lives as well, because I was able to communicate. I was able to breathe oxygen. It was like a new toy. It was wonderful.
You were involved in many different kinds of sporting events, not only football. Display some of the people you've met and some of the events that you've...
Well, I love America. I love the freedom. I love the spirit of America. I love American sport. And I thought, as we ran into the 90s, there were we trying to, glamorise English football, which for me was always glamorous, but trying to make it a bit more pizzazzful. And of course, Sky came along, and I went to see people like Sam Chisholm, who were running the Sky product at the time, and I said, give me the product and I'll glamorise it. Look what I've done with the England team. And so I got very friendly with the Sky hierarchy, and they allowed me to do ridiculous things like, have dancing girls on the pitch and fireworks at football games and stuff like that. And people used to go, oh no. But again, it worked. It led Sky into that sort of we are entertainment mode. And then I thought, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to try and bring over some of the American sports. So a wonderful man who was then on the board at Wembley called Jarvis Astaire, who I lovingly call my alma pater, because I learnt so much from him. In fact, he had, I call them Jarvisisms. He has these wonderful sayings in life, and one of them, which I always recall at my more negative moments in life, is no good deed shall go unpunished. You never understand in life why you do something good and it doesn't get rewarded, but that's life, and you have to still maintain your soul and get on with it. But Jarvis and I got together and we decided we were going to bring over American sports. So we brought over the NFL teams and we filled Wembley Stadium. And then we brought over the NHL, the National Hockey League, and we filled Wembley Arena. And then we brought over the NBA basketball and we filled London Arena. And it was just pizzazzful sport in England. I owned the London Monarchs for the first year, and we won the World Bowl, and we were getting 90,000 people for an alien sport. And my Royal Box at Wembley was full of the idols of the day. Duran Duran and the model of the day, and Danny Minogue was just beginning her career in those days. And they were all our guests because they loved the way that we had got British sport onto FM radio, and we were now entertainment. So there was a wonderful guy at Capital Radio called Richard Park, who I believe is one of the owners of Capital Radio in the group these days. And Richard and I conspired to put music and sport together, because that was my little dream. And so we're now sport and we're on FM radio, so we were getting that funky audience into our sports games. And then we decided we'd bring Major League Baseball to Lord's, which was a real moment, because first of all we had to explain to baseball what cricket was, and then we had to explain to the MCC that the hallowed turf could be used for anything other than cricket. So about a year and a half of these discussions went by, and eventually we got Major League Baseball to fly over and meet the MCC at Lord's. And they'd actually decided they'd have this meeting at the Long Room in the Lord's Pavilion, which is a members-only club, and doesn't allow women in there. And of course Major League Baseball turned up with three people, and one was a woman. And she turned up and said, sorry, you can't come in. And they said, but we've just flown over from New York, sorry, we have to have a committee meeting to ratify your appearance. And they couldn't find enough people to have a committee meeting. So there wasn't a committee meeting, so there was no meeting at Lord's, so we went to the Oval. And we took Major League Baseball to the Oval, and that day it rained, and it rained, and it rained. So we never really got Major League Baseball into Britain. One of my major failures in life, but it was a brave failure.
Yeah, and then part of what I'm sure you're very passionate about, which we've already discussed, is communication.
Yes.
Being able to communicate, being able to engage, and be able to build rapport with people is key in any field.
And that is a dichotomy, isn't it? Because here on the one hand we're saying everything is, not computer-based, but electronically based, and it will be, and more so, that we're beginning to forget the social aspect of our life and the ability to communicate other than on a keyboard. So looking in someone's eyes and being able to tell them how you feel and what... I mean, emails are really impersonal things, and sometimes you get into a situation with somebody because you've sent a bland one-liner back which has no emotion attached to
Absolutely.
it. And, you know, I present a TV show on Sports Tonight Live on Sky, and we say you can tweet us, you can email us, you can Skype us, and that's all it says on the trailer boards. And actually I throw in, and you know, you can even actually, if you're that old fashioned, you can phone us.
Yeah.
But still, that's so important. The physical communication with people is so important.
Absolutely.